Welcome to the Mindset Evolution podcast, powered by Self-Recoding, world-class consulting and coaching services that you can access at selfrecoding.com. Self-Recoding is a unique blend of neurohealing modalities that will empower you to reach your full potential. Join thousands of others who have experienced rapid results in their journey of personal growth. Now enjoy our show where we bring you tools for a powerful mind with your hosts, Kathi and Daisy.
And hello, everybody, and welcome back to Bald and Blonde Mindset Evolution, the podcast that gives you tools for a powerful mind. I'm Kathi Tate, your host from Australia. With me, as always, Miss Daisy Papp from America. Hi, Daisy.
Hi, Kathi, down under in Australia. So exciting and good to see you again and co-create another episode for Bald and Blonde. What is your topic for today?
Yes, well, episode 174. Can you believe it? Today, We're going to talk about dignity.
Dignity, yes. Well, okay. I commit to handle this topic in a dignified way.
Nice. Well, let's start with speaking about what we believe dignity actually means, so we can get that out there. And then we'll roll into, a conversation about it. When I look up dignity to get some parameters around what it means, I get some words like calm, controlled, respectful, composed, having standards. So to me, I think it means like a point where I am acting with my highest values. I'm staying composed and calm, as in not reacting, but rather taking my time and making sure that I respond in a way that's true to me. So I guess what I'm saying is that dignity to me is like this invisible line where you have high standards and you stick to them. And to me, that's being dignified. It's like not sinking to another level or...
Thinking to another level?
Sinking. You know, when you interact with people who aren't behaving in the nicest way, there's a tendency to sink to that level and meet them on their terms, whereas I feel like being dignified is the other way to handle it. It's where you don't sink down to their terms, but you keep your composure and stay true to your own standards. I think that's what dignified means to me.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. I think it is a good idea to speak about dignity first, although I responded when you mentioned the topic, if I'm handling it in dignified ways, and that might have been confusing. I'd like to define dignity itself and then the behavior of behaving with dignity, therefore dignified ways. So dignity, I think, is an absolutely underused and misunderstood, or rather not understood, word or concept. And I'm not really sure how to translate Grundgesetz to English. That's the German, how do you call that? In the United States, we have a constitution. Germany does not have that, but they have something instead of the constitution. And the first point in it all is dignity of humans is untouchable. That's the first point. And when we look at it this way, okay, that must show that dignity must be something very important. So let's have a look what dignity actually means. Dignity itself means being worthy of honor and respect, period. No matter what you do, no matter what you eat, no matter where you're born, no matter how you look, no matter what your educational level is, you are worthy of dignity, period. The dignity of humans is untouchable, period. Now, everyone is worthy of dignity. Dignity is not about looks or grades. Dignity is like having a special kind of greatness that's innate, that's born within you. You are born with it. It's also like having a positive attitude and behaving in a noble or decent way. That is where the behavior comes in, behaving in dignified ways. And dignity is also about treating yourself and others with that honor or pride and respect. It's like feeling good about who you are. It's like wanting to avoid doing things also that might make someone else feel embarrassed or not dignified.
For me, out of all of that, the most clear standout there that I think matches the word dignity is respect.
Well, I think it is more related to the worthiness of that respect. It's a special quality that every human has, and that means that you deserve to be treated with respect and kindness. But dignity means being worthy of that honor and respect. The worthiness, I think it is more important to point out and put the flashlight or the spotlight or the floodlight towards the worthiness of.
Yes, but for me, being worthy means being respectful to yourself and to others, because that's a standard for me, in my opinion, in my life. Respect is a standard that I will not cross the line on. So it's very attached to the worthiness for me.
Yes. So no matter what you do or what you don't do, in the first place, as you're born, you are worthy of honor and respect. Now, how you behave when you are somebody who is cussing and shouting and yelling and throwing temper tantrums and being rude or being disrespectful to others, then you are the one who is behaving in non-dignified ways. That doesn't make you lose your dignity. It jeopardizes your dignity. But dignity is something we're born with. It is something that everyone is worthy of having. That's why it's in the German, not constitution, but equivalent sort of the first point.
This is interesting because I did always believe that dignity was a behavior. And so what we're actually saying here is that's actually not the case. Paramount is that we are born with a birthright of deserving dignity, no matter what. So it's like our humanity goes along with that dignity.
Well, dignity itself is a noun. I understand that English is not my first language, but because I do many translations from languages that I speak into English and from English into languages that I do translate into, dignity is a noun, and it means being worthy of honor and respect. Now, when I start behaving without dignity or jeopardizing my dignity, that means I'm jeopardizing me being worthy of honor and respect. So it's not like I'm behaving in ways to keep my dignity and honor your dignity solely to be worthy of something. I'm worthy. Every human is worthy. And I think it is a good idea that we stop with our own behavior, that we start choosing behaviors that I'm no longer jeopardizing my own dignity and or yours or anyone else's. Let me give you a few examples. It's good that you bring this up because I just recently finished a book for teenagers and children where we also speak in one of the points about dignity. And there it says, dignity is a special quality that every human has, and it means that you deserve to be treated with respect and kindness. It's like having a big, invisible sign that shows others how valuable and important you are. And as examples, the state or quality of being worthy of honor and respect, the state of an inner posture and attitude, behaving and acting with kindness and decency, a desire to avoid doing something that will make another person undignified, a sense of modest pride in oneself and others, a sense of self-respect, self-esteem, self-worth, to neither subordinate nor superordinate, meaning that you don't feel better than others and don't think that others are better than you. So that's where then the behavior comes in. I could go on with this, but I'd like to add one more very important point to that. Respect for dignity and honor excludes any humiliation and degradation. And then it's the question, how many of our listeners or how many people of our listeners do know someone who look in the mirror and take an inventory? Do we live our life excluding any humiliation and degradation? Or are we utilizing these at times? That's the big question.
Yeah, interesting, because until you sit down and define a word like this, it rolls around in your head with some sort of sloppy meaning, which you never really put your finger on, and therefore you're never really entirely clear on what it exactly means for yourself and then for other people. So I am glad that I've picked this, because I think that dignity is not used that much nowadays, like in the modern world. And I think it's a really important part of having high standards, is having the knowledge around what dignity is. And especially now I know that it is like this birthright that I didn't really understand entirely. I actually did think dignity was a state of mind / behavior. I guess even I've got that wrong without really realizing, and English is my first language.
I think it is a very complex situation and era we are living in, because many people say what they don't mean. They use words that they don't care for. They cannot define them. And that causes lots of conflict, and it causes lots of misunderstanding, and it causes lots of upheaval within the smallest relations. And it may not be directly related, but it certainly falls into this category. For example, when we think about what many humans do, which I consider not living up to dignity, when they buy things with money they don't have to impress people they don't care for or don't like. I think that is the crown of it. So buying things with money you don't have to impress people you don't like. And then therefore we can see that dignity is, I think, endangered. And I think it is a good idea that we speak about dignity. And yes, let's define it, and let's open the discussion. Let's open the discourse. Let's speak about it. Dear listeners, what does dignity mean to you? Is it important to you? Have you heard of dignity before? What did you learn about dignity? How do you define it? How do your friends define it? Go and look around a little bit. Educate yourself.
Yeah, I think I've heard it used mostly in the form of some expression of dignified behavior, which is why I assumed it was a behavior. And I think it can be a behavior, but first and foremost, the definition was being worthy of honor and respect. Is that right?
Well, means being worthy of honor and respect. I think the focus lays more in the worthiness. Now, dignity is, I think, an attribute. I can eat with dignity. I can speak with dignity. I can dance with dignity. I can commute with dignity. I can work with dignity. With dignity.
Yeah, that's how I've heard it used most of my life.
Yeah.
Not very often either. It is quite an old-fashioned, if I may call it that, term that perhaps isn't used in modern language. And so I probably heard it more when I was younger and growing up and around older generations that aren't necessarily there anymore. And I always looked at my grandparents and my great-grandparents that way. In my memory, they always acted very dignified. And to me, that was composed, calm, fair. They were good at listening. They were respectful. When I think of them and I think of the word dignity, it does always come back to their composure and how they held themselves in tough situations.
Isn't it about time to find a few treasures that are on the edge of being lost, like dignity? And the behaviors and the pictures and memories that come up when you think of your grandparents and great-grandparents? Who if not us? And when if not now?
Am I right in that dignity is one of the 5+2?
Yes, it is.
Let's share with our listeners, Daisy, why you included dignity in the 5+2. I think that will also help them understand.
Well, because it is such a big value and it is so often misunderstood. For example, when I'm aware of my worthiness of honor and respect, then I can also see that when somebody is mean, rude, cruel, let's say a bully towards me, then they behave in an undignified way. But I wonder, is then not my dignity still untouchable when I honor it? So I put in dignity into one of the 5+2 points because I see absolutely outstanding value in it. And I see it very dangerous to humanity overall when we're losing dignity and losing being convinced of our own dignity. I see that very dangerous. I see that as something very dangerous. And therefore, I think it is a good idea to promote dignity and educate humans on dignity, all ages, all cultures, all geographics, because I humbly think to be able to transition in evolution from Homo sapiens to Homo humanus, meaning the humane human, dignity is an essential part in this.
It definitely goes along with being humane, for sure.
Now, when we look at animals and how undignifying humans treat animals at times, when we reconnect with dignity, this all stops. Cruelty towards other humans, no matter the age, and cruelty towards nature, towards animals, ocean life, dignity is huge, hugely important, so I think, and I stand for it. Promoting it is very important for our species to survive. It's a tough topic, Kathi. It's not easy to speak about dignity because it is not very popular nowadays, and we're changing it. Big responsibility.
Have we missed anything?
No. Let's encourage people to have a look. What's dignity? What does dignity mean to you? When are you using this word? How do you define it? When you research the word, what does it mean? What do you find? How can you implement it more and bring it to life, into your life, within your life, and in all lives that cross your path while you are alive? I'd like to inspire every single one who listens to us and spread the word far and wide.
Yeah, I think it's definitely something that needs to be brought back, so to speak, and made not so much popular, but more common again, because it's such an important value. And I just found another little snippet. It says that part of dignity is the golden rule that you should treat others the way you want to be treated yourself.
There you go.
Now, that's something that we can all understand and get on board with, I think. That breaks it down to a very simple principle of if you wouldn't want it done to you, why would you do it to somebody else?
I agree. Now, remember that we are all traumatized to a degree. We're all hurt to a degree. All humans are to a degree. And when humans are accustomed to continuously being hurt, then it is a greater challenge for them to not do upon themselves what they would not want to do on others because it's twisted around. It is about checking in with self. What is it that I want? What is it, how it feels to me? What is it that I'd like others treating me? What is my own worth? What is my own value? How do I evaluate myself? How do I find value and discover value in myself? And I think dignity is a great call and a great bridge to find that again. When we notice that we're all born with it. It's part of natural law.
Yeah, I think you make a good point too, because we often don't treat ourselves as well as we should. So that's something really important to remember.
Yeah.
yes, once again, we've come back to our self-inventory.
Yeah.
As always.
There's no way around. The more episodes we produce, I think it becomes more and more clear to both of us, right? After 3.5 years almost 4 years, us being friends and friendly and dignified, yeah, that there's no way around it.
Yeah.
If it's not clear by now, it won't be ever.
If it's not clear by now, you have to go back to episode 1 and start listening all over again.
Who are you? There you go. Yeah.
We do encourage you to go and listen to all of our episodes, especially if you're a new listener and have just joined us maybe this season or last season. And even though it's been like 3.5 years, mind-boggling,
yeah.
I think that there is just as much value in our early work as there is in our current work.
Absolutely, yes.
And I think there's benefits for everybody if you go back and have a listen. And we would love your feedback. So please do visit us at boldandblonde.live. There's a contact us page. While you're there, please support us. It helps us stay on air. And don't forget to visit Daisy at selfrecoding.com. Our major sponsor. We do appreciate all of the work and resources that are put into the podcast from Daisy and her business. If our episode has helped you, imagine what you could benefit from a coaching session with Daisy or perhaps a workshop at your workplace. There are so many ways that Daisy can help you and the people around you that you love. So please reach out to her. That's it from us this week. We'll be back again next week with something else up my sleeve. Who knows? But that's it from us today. We are Bold and Blonde.
Mindset Evolution. Talk to you next time. Thank you for listening in to the Bold and Blonde Mindset Evolution podcast. Please share our show with your family and friends. Together, we make this world a better place for you, for us, for future generations. When you need consulting or coaching, visit selfrecoding.com. Also, please remember to rate us 5 stars and leave a review and support us at boldandblonde.live. Talk to you soon.